Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you some more Survivor Series from the Moonlight Pro League. Here we have Paralyze, who finally took down True. You can see that scoreboard in the bottom right. There's not like a traditional score. It doesn't matter. Like, True could have killed everyone except one guy, and then the one guy runs through the Zerg players, and the one guy wins. His team wins, right? So it doesn't really matter how many you take down. It's more about your race getting to the end of the series, being the final victory, basically. But Paralyze finally stopping True in his tracks. Going to be playing next against Ample, who I know a lot of people who watch his channel really have enjoyed Ample's games. I am with you on that. This guy is one of the most aggressive Terran players out there. Terran versus Protoss is his specialty, and I think that the different pressure builds he puts on are very cool. They're very fun. He's like Sharp with less macro or something like that, right? Something like that. Not entirely fair, but you get my drift. Anyways, the map is going to be a Neo Sylphid, a 3-player map. Definitely some trickiness in the early game since everything is flat. Like, Protoss pressure can be quite a bit, and you do have that ridge around your main base, which can make it a little bit tricky playing against shuttles and very tricky playing against lots of arbiters in the late game. There's just much more surface area into your main base than on any other competitive map. So yeah, that can be a little bit tricky, but we'll see if we even get to that late game. You know, a lot of Ample games are very, very fast, where he decides the game extremely quickly, whether that's through him rushing or maybe something goes wrong and Protoss can get off a great counterattack, that type of thing. Either way, Ample actually with a pretty darn quick scout this game, going a little bit quicker than we're used to. An interesting Sim City. These are both micro holes, as I like to call them, where you can throw a Marine through, but probes, zealots can't fit, right? This is one, and this is one. So he has multiple locations he can run through, and obviously zealots trying to get through the gas line can be a little bit tricky as well. Especially if you put like one SCV here, it's like almost impossible to get through. That was cute. He actually took the SCV that finished here, put it on gas, and took a gas SCV off and put it on minerals. That was actually the quickest way to get it back. I love seeing tiny optimizations that players figure out like that. I've never seen a pro quite do it like that, but that's neat. That's neat. Okay, anyways, let's take a look at what Paralyze's build is. Looks all very standard so far. We don't see a range upgrade. We do see that first Dragoon. He's scouting with the pro, but it's like a pretty late scout. It's a pretty economic opener. Dragoon range gets started up here as well. It's just double pylon. And we'll see exactly when he takes the Nexus. That's kind of the important thing that we're looking for. But this is certainly an expansion build. It definitely looks that way to me right now. Over on the side of Ample, just making a few Marines. Generally, you go 3 Marines and a Vulture to expand, but there's a lot of different ways that you could end up going about it. The first Dragoon chasing out this SCV. Probe getting ready for that Nexus as well. And, you know, it's like this SCV is giving you a ton of information. Like, you know when goons come out, okay? So the first goon comes out at like 3 minutes and 12 seconds, and then you're looking at like a 3 minute, like 43, 44 second one for the second Dragoon, right? Like, so seeing where this Dragoon is, he knows, for instance, he doesn't need a bunker. He knows when he needs his units up. Now, look at how Paralyze groups the probe and the Dragoon. This is something that can kind of force this situation where the Vulture has to fight as well. Because 3 Marines hold a Dragoon, but 3 Marines absolutely do not hold a Dragoon and a probe. But when you add the Vulture in, it more than holds. So, you know, there's a lot of that going on right now where you'll pull the probe to actually fight with the Dragoon. But Ample knows, and he saves that SCV really beautifully, has his command center coming up. It's not very far behind the Nexus, so that's great. Robo coming up very quickly here as well, and it looks like we're going to have a little bit of goon pressure here. Siege tank on the way, as well as mines. So this one Vulture really needs to live, but he's diving with it. So that's, like, you can get some probes, but you're going to lose the Vulture, which means that mine upgrade you're getting may not be as useful. Honestly, I think this is the right call. It's 4 kills total. 1 was on the initial probe that was fighting up here, but he gets 3 additional probes in the base, so that's great. 24 to 18. That's a good position for Terran. But it's just to mention, like, there are other things you could have done with the Vulture, like laid mines behind these Dragoons, try to push them into the mines with the tank. But yeah, just there's so many little tiny things that you can make different choices on in the early game of StarCraft. It's just, there's nothing deeper than this game. It's kind of crazy. So right now, Paralyze just doing some fancy micro there, putting a little bit of damage on the tank, but Ample is being careful. You might want to lay a mine next to the bunker because, yeah, when this happens, 4 goons can snipe a siege tank. They 2-volley a siege tank, so it's a very good sniping amount. Oh, God, he moves it forward. I don't think he should have done that. Oh, my God, he pulls it back just in time. One Dragoon goes down. The other one's kind of damaged here. He's making a second siege tank. I honestly want to see Ample push out now. Like, he's done a lot of damage. These shields are mostly gone. This Dragoon at 15 health. When the second tank pops out, I think he should just start pushing across the map. Armory is up right now as well. And here comes that second tank. Is he going to pop the Marines out? I feel like this is the one moment where he can take a bit of map control. Just slips the Vulture out instead. Leaves the 2 tanks. Doesn't push anything. Now, when I'm talking about pushing, I'm not talking about going down and attacking the natural. That type of thing doesn't work anymore. Once upon a time, it did. But a lot of times, you can just kind of walk out on a move command rather than an attack move. And if the Protoss isn't super quick, a lot of times you'll get a kill on a Dragoon or 2 there. Now, the Vulture scouts, finds the 3rd base location, lays a single mine up there, and retreats. He knows that he's not going to be able to, like, kill the Nexus with the Vulture, so no reason to lose it there. Instead, getting a bit of vision. In fact, that might even block one of the buildings that would block, you know, you normally would make a pylon wall here to block Vulture run-ins. But yeah, he comes up with the Observer, so he will be able to clear that. A few mines being laid out just to see movement of the Protoss army. The Observer, of course, seeing everything that's going on in Ample's base. Ample right now just kind of producing Siege Tank Goliath, a very safe, macro-oriented play. And the fact that he has the Armory and the E-Base, sorry guys, it's not going to be one of our standard, or I should really say completely non-standard Ample aggression TVPs. At least not in the early game. Like, this is the most turtly macro play. This is, like, considered the... Like, this is something as a Terran player you have to do if you want to be good. Is get that quick Armory, get an eBay, make a few turrets, be safe, and go for upgrade Terran. And that is what he's going for right now, right? Like, he's adding that second starport, so that takes away... Or that first starport, sorry. That takes away any possibility of adding factories for, like, a timing attack. This, as soon as you see this, it means the 3rd Nexus, or the 3rd Command Center should be coming down in the next 2 minutes. Now, Goliath tank kind of roaming about. He is getting Goliath range just in case against Reavers. Seems like Goliath range has been coming into style once again, but not like the old Goliath range openers where it was just Goliath tank. This is like a Vulture opener into it a little bit later. You know, that's going to help deal with these speed shuttles. I love this build, by the way, from, and by love, I mean, of course, hate, from Paralyze to go into speed shuttle Reaver after taking your 3rd base and then just adding gateways. It's super strong right now. And you see that Reaver gets the kill. Range just barely not done. If range was done there, you can't do that. So good timing from Ample, but Paralyze getting in under the wire. And picking off that 1 siege tank for the cost of a few hit points on his Reaver and a Zealot. Now, speed not done on these Vultures. Watching slow Vultures out in the map right now is kind of funny. Because normally in this type of situation, they'll have speed and you just run by everything and Protoss will lose track of them. But as of right now, like, you have a very good idea of where they may be at. Now, this build that we're seeing, right? He's getting the Citadel. He's already getting +1. He'll get legs with this, and he might go Templar Archives very quickly as well if he wants to do a more harass-oriented type of play. But it's very, very popular right now to go Speed Shuttle Reaver and then just really produce gateway units. It can be very hard for a Terran player to kind of push out and take their 3rd base against that type of play because you have to worry about the speed shuttles coming into your main, so you have to have, like, some amount of defense. But you also have to have a lot of units out front because Protoss can macro up quite quickly indeed. But so far, not that many gates. We can see he's setting up additional pylons. These are set up so that you can add a bunch of production down here. But we'll see exactly what he goes for. You see the double speed shuttle kind of ready to go in. This is a pretty good setup, though. The 2 Goliaths with range really, really helpful. Lays mines in the harder to get to areas so that if anything gets dropped off there, it can be punished. 3rd command center on the way. He's got those 4 factories producing right now. Good amount of vultures out on the map, but I don't think they can find any damage. Like, we're just now getting some cannons, but you can't really make it through these pylon walls. Like, even if you go up and attack them, Protoss will just rotate units over to deal with them before we can kill the pylons. That mine lay was to try to get the vulture to jump. Oh, he does get a jump. Sick. But he jumps right into the cannon. The mine actually displaces the vultures a little bit, so sometimes you can do a jump like that. So that's kind of an annoying thing, but you can just place a Dragoon here and kill it off at this point. Excuse me. 3 more factories on the way. And I gotta say, I find this kind of interesting. The place he built this command center looks like he wants to take this as the 3rd base. This base can be a little bit tricky to take, especially if your opponent goes in Psystorm. Now, we don't have Psystorm yet. The Templar Archives is only about halfway done. Instead, he did add those gates I was talking about and is starting to heavily produce. But Ample has a good-sized army. He actually had 4 factories pretty early on. He hasn't wasted a lot of units, which is good. You gotta be careful, though. You don't want to be wasting these. So he has kept up in supply very, very well. He's actually up in workers, which is kind of funny, playing against 4 base. But he is getting that 3rd base of his own down. Does a little scan there to try to kill off observers. One of them gets away, unfortunately, for Ample. And here we go. This is what I was talking about, right? You got to be very wary of this occurring. Drops those zealots off to draw any mines. The Reavers come out afterwards. And 1 shuttle's still very, very healthy here. So how much damage can be dealt? Picking off a few units here and there. Gonna go ahead and pick up the Reaver. He had sent 1 zealot over to kill that turret. So there is a way out with this shuttle. Some good planning on this Reaver drop from Paralyze. Looks like he's done in the main base. Goes over to the natural. Oh, he might be able to get some good scarabs here. Oh, 6 scarab right there. All right, nice one there as well. And he kills off the turret. So he has, again, another way out. Just has to deal with these Goliaths first. Oh, my God. These Reavers are doing so much damage. Just absurd, the amount of damage he's getting. Look at this. Flies back to the main base. Despite having that Goliath range upgrade, not having much luck in defending this. Maybe it would have been better to make a Wraith at some point. And now it's like you got to wait for some Goliaths. He's not even making Goliaths. What, are you just going to remake turrets? Oh, okay. Now we have an attack here from Paralyze. He is going to dive into this 3rd base location, get zealots all over the siege tanks. This has to be lifted. There's no way on earth you can save that. Targeting him as best he can with the tanks. So the tanks are still getting some pretty good volleys, but losing this many tanks, of course, extremely painful. The Reaver drop comes out during all of this, and Ample having a hard time dealing with everything going on. And oh my God, Ample has decided to try to hold. He actually pulls a bunch of SCVs in the front. He's lost almost 30 SCVs between the Reaver and this attack in the last couple minutes. That's a huge blow to his economy. Remember, he was at 70. Now we're at 45. And he is remaking SCVs. Does hold the position, though. I thought for sure he was going to have to back out of there. So a solid hold, but was it worth it? I think, yeah. I think it was. Like, you have to hold your position. If you're lifting 3rd bases and your opponent is up here and taking a 5th base, man, you need 3 bases against 5. And then you need to take a 4th. The thing is, on Sylphid, a lot of times what happens is after 5 base, like, look at this. Yeah, see, he's taken a 6 base now, and a lot of times you'll see a 7th go up pretty quickly as well. We'll see where he goes for that one. But right now, we have double speed shuttle coming over. Has a couple High Templars, but mostly Zealots in here. All right, flies right over the missile turrets, dropping these Zealots out to try to drag any mines that he can. Drops out the High Templar. Looks like the turrets were enough to deal with the shuttles, but not... Oh, no, one is left over here. Oh! Very good snipe. Actually doesn't lose that much. That was excellent defense between the mines and the turrets and the quick reaction speed. We didn't see any storms get off or anything. Excuse me. A little bit of a dry throat here today. Now, This Nexus is about to finish. This Nexus is about to finish. So the economy going to just jump forward here for Paralyze. He's adding a second robotics, so more and more shuttles on the way, more observers, maybe even more Reavers. The later game Reavers have become somewhat popular. I think, you know, maybe Snow had something to do with that, although no one quite uses them like Snow, although Paralyze's Reavers looked very good this game so far. His economy looking strong. Almost time to add some more gateways as well. I've seen some Protosses start adding gateways at this location. There's like a lot of open ground here that you can add gateways in and can apply some flanking forces with that against big pushes that go towards your natural, because that's normally where pushes go from Terran. Almost every time it's correct to push the natural, because then you stop unit rotation from the main gateways. So very, very good to build in another location. He hasn't been able to secure this main. That would be obviously the #1 place you'd want to go, but if you don't have it, I'm talking about. Okay, now Ample has moved into... He has 2 positions here. First off, he's got this pretty well-defended position. I like the barracks where it's landed. That really does make it harder for units to move in. They only really have 1 path. And then he's got this big position. I think this one needs to move to, like, here. And once you move to here, these 2 bases become bases that you can take. Because he needs to take those. This base, these little middle bases that are like, quote-unquote, easier to take, they have reduced mineral patches, and they have reduced gas. So even though it looks like he has a 3rd base, the 3rd base oftentimes runs out at a similar time to your natural. So you really have to think about taking a couple more bases when you take that as well. Now, a nice storm drop comes down. 48 SCVs remain. Definitely some decent damage. Goliath coming down to try to deal with this as well. I really want to see 1 Wraith. These drops have been so strong. I feel like 1 Wraith would really help him cleaning up some of these spare shuttles that are flying in. Just set it and forget it. Now, 3-2 upgrades are already done here for Ample at 17 minutes. Paralyze, working on his +3 attack. It's got good cannon coverage. You can see really anti-vulture. Wow, that's 6 cannons. That's serious. That's like a lot of cannons. Probe coming into the other main, so it looks like that is where he wants his 7th base location. Ample floating up for a 4th. Like I mentioned, he needs to take this one as well. Another drop off into the main base. In the meantime, it looks like a little scuffle out front, but this spread from Ample, I don't think you can really break. These are like mini recalls that just continually are occurring against Ample here. Definitely very annoying. He's down. Oh my God, he's down to 22 SCVs. I don't know how that happened. We were at 40-something a moment ago, but 22 SCVs is not enough. And in fact, he has no bank either. So he has to just build SCVs non-stop right now and get his bases saturated, which means he's going to have to chill on, you know, 140 army supply for a bit. Another double shuttle comes in from Paralyze. Ample will clean up the Zealots, but loses some of these very critical siege tanks. A little bit sloppy here from Paralyze, running into some siege tank fire. Not the biggest deal, though. New base on the way. Some gateways being added. This base not being taken at all, I can't blame him for it. I do see some Protosses take that in this type of position. Although it seems kind of weird, right? It feels like you could probably push it down, but it does open you up to counterattacks up here if too much of your army is down here. Because this doesn't rotate to here well. Like, they'll, you know. So, anyways, just some ideas for where expansions can be taken. Now, Ample rotating a huge amount of vultures in here, right? This is like 13 vultures left over once they run through everything. And, you know, I don't think he's going to be able to quite get the Nexus. It looks like, yeah, in fact, you can see a Dragoon being pushed to its death because he wants to get up here before the Nexus takes critical damage. Now, the Nexus taking... Yeah, he actually is going to be able to get the cancel on that. Very nicely done from Ample. But he's giving a lot of vultures to cancel a building, which costs 100 minerals off of it. Obviously, it delays when you're going to be mining from there. But there's plenty of bases for Paralyze. You can see he's got 4K, 1.5K. Continues to harass these mineral lines. And Ample just can't seem to get enough defense to keep his SCV count healthy. Getting very worried here for Ample. He really, really needs, like you can see in the production tab, right? A lot being made from Protoss. Ample is like, okay, we got to make SCVs again. Continues to lay mines all over the place. A huge attack looks like it's coming for this third. It may be time to lift this now and just send these SCVs elsewhere. Maybe finish mining it later. Oh, he lands the barracks and forces it back, actually. I think I'm underestimating what this barracks does as far as blocking units from going in multiple paths. I honestly haven't seen this exact move done before. Oftentimes you clog with buildings, but the barracks has a lot of health. Anyways, a couple of D-matrices going down onto these siege tanks. Oh, wow, a huge Psy Storm. Huge Psy Storms going down. Paralyze will back up here. Ample regaining his SCV count a little bit. 43 SCVs right now. But still, his economy is going to start going dry pretty soon. Paralyze with, well, he just continually is producing these High Templars. Even has a Kadarian Amulet, so they get a few more storms off. The factory count is fine. He does have some idle SCVs. Maybe hard to keep track of them in this very chaotic game right now. Very good siege tank spread. He still looks like he can't really be broken. That's one of the funny things about this style from Paralyze. Now, hold on. Paralyze coming in again. The double defense matrix doing a fantastic job. The Zealots trying to run past that, but a lot of Vultures and Goliaths waiting for them. So those will be mostly cleared out. Siege tank somehow lives through that. But yeah, that's the funny thing about this style, right? The double robo, heavy harassment, High Templar, Gateway Army from Paralyze. It's a common Protoss strategy right now. And as you can see, it can get you like well ahead, but it's very hard to kill your opponent. You don't have those killing units like Arbiters for like massive recalls or Carriers, you know, which just outscale everything. Instead, you have all these units that are very good at scuffles and very good at harassment. But to attack a completely sieged position like these, really hard. It takes a very long time to grind that down. Well, he does have that time. Paralyze really taking just about the entire map, even expanding here now. Has that new main, has that main's natural. Only one base not taken at the moment. Now, 3 speed shuttles coming in. The Goliath's going to try to push everything back. EMP is now on the way. EMP definitely going to be helpful, but not in every situation, right? Like, for instance, that's one of the great things about carrying High Templars in shuttles is you can't EMP them. You got to wait for them to come out, and then they come out one at a time. And by the time the second one comes out, the first one can cast a storm. So do you EMP that? Now another attack coming up. Paralyze. Absolutely relentless. Attacking one area, harassing another. Attacking one area, harassing another. Just coming in waves time and time again. But this is honestly the best defense I've ever seen of this base. Like, I mean, I watch a lot of StarCraft, and this base, all the time in these positions where I'm like, oh, I think it has to lift, I see it get busted all the time. But I think between the barracks and the mineral patches blocking the bottom, making it so thin and putting the tanks a little bit further back than you would think, the tanks are mostly saying, okay, you can attack that if you want. Like maybe 1 or 2 tanks can hit goons attacking the front. But overall, they're like, okay, if you want to commit, we're going to splatter you. Very, very cool defense from Ample. Got to hand it to him on that one. Okay, another attack coming in here from Paralyze. What can he get done? Ooh, there are Psy Storms in here. There's one good storm. Another nice storm there. Oh, storms his own shuttle. D-Matrices going down. But this is a lot of Zealots running up here. The D-Matrices are saving the day hardcore right now. Oh my god, he's kept so much more alive than I thought he would throughout this. But you can see once again how hard it can be to actually break these sieged lines with this type of strategy. Honestly, I think that this strategy, when you get this far ahead, as Paralyze has been for most of the game, he doesn't have that bank anymore. Remember, he had a 4K bank? I think it's probably a good idea to just add some Arbiters in at that point so you have the threat of a big recall. Because, like, you look at this main, it's like, yeah, this is pretty good anti-recall, but what if you have 2 recalls, right? You do 1 recall, clear up a lot, do your attacking and harassing, do the second recall. Bam. Suddenly, this is a better kill position against Ample than what we've been dealing with the entire time. Okay, once again, we have Paralyze coming in. Oh, kills so many SCVs once again. Down to 34 workers here for Ample. Another storm drop coming down. The mine does get that one. And he clears everything, but Ample's down at 99 supply. Not super healthy. Let's take a look at the minerals here from Paralyze. Oh, wow, that's more than I thought. Obviously, this is brand new. More than I thought. Empty. More than I thought. Yeah, new. Wow, he's actually got so much income still. It really doesn't look like there's any real chance for Ample anymore. You can see that he's just like... When your army gets down to just siege tanks, what that means is you have no more income because you can't produce your vultures anymore. The siege tanks are always kind of what stays alive, and the vultures are what gets spent quite often. They tank damage, they do harassment, things like that. And then a lot of times as you get late game, you look at your army, you'd be like, oh, I have like 7 vultures, but I have 20 tanks. That's a bad position for Terran because it literally just points towards your economy and says, yeah, you can't produce out of your factories anymore. And that's what we have going on. So even though he still has that strong tank line, no map presence, not much tanking here for his tanks. He has the D-matrices. He's going to try to cast those. Another attack in here from Paralyze. He's finally starting to break these positions since there's not enough vultures to help hold everything back. And I think Paralyze is going to do it. Ample going to fall here. Not having the Terran team not having a great Survivor series, that is for sure. And GG is called.